Today on the podcast, we're talking coffee. 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 This is the Kansas City Podcast. Welcome to the Kansas City Podcast. I'm your host, Cole Lindbergh. Many of you know me from my expertly constructed homemade firecrackers. And if not, it's nice to meet you. You know, each week here on the Kansas City Podcast, we are joined by a one-of-a-kind KC native for a conversation on life in the city of fountains. And I have found my way downtown. I'm not far from 39th Street. Wait, what am I at? We're like Westport Road.
Westport Road and Main Street.
Where are we at right now? This is, go ahead, Nick. I'm going to introduce you in a moment. But
Right.
where are we at right now?
I'm the unknown person
Yeah,
introducing Oddly Correct Coffee.
And we want to say that we are not like associated with Oddly Correct.
We're not associated.
But we are hanging out here.
We
and
are.
And I'll tell you right now, I don't feel hip enough to be in
I know.
here. It's a hip joint.
It is, very.
It's very hip. So
I mean, your hair fits the vibe.
it's
yeah.
okay. If my hair fits the vibe, then I feel better.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, on the show here with me today, can I say that you're a coffee connoisseur?
You could say that, just a little bit.
Okay, he is the man behind At Coffee Kansas City.
That's right.
He's growing in popularity. He knows anything and everything about Kansas City coffee. Am I correct with that?
You're pretty correct. I don't want to go out and say that I'm just the number one, but
Yeah, I
I'm-
think
I'm
you're
not,
the number
but-
one. That's why you're on the show, man. You got to say
That's
you're the
right.
number one.
Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Kansas City Podcast, David Horn. David, how are you, sir?
hey, I'm good. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you for coming on the show. Now, we are here at Oddly Correct, and
Absolutely.
where you are drinking. What are you having right now?
Well,
what is
right
this?
now, well, to many coffee fans,
Uh-huh,
the ones
yes.
that are very connoisseur,
Yes,
like myself.
like yourself.
I'm getting a pour over.
Okay.
It's typically a very fancy name.
Yeah.
But this is just simply an Ethiopian coffee.
Okay.
That is hot. I forgot to get it iced. Right now it's like 98 degrees and I'm
It
drinking
is
hot coffee.
It is hot as hell. That's why I can't have coffee right now because it's so damn hot
Yeah,
outside.
it's
I'm already
literally
sweating.
like 98 degrees and it's like 100 in here, it feels
Yeah,
like.
yes, it really does.
And I'm still drinking hot coffee.
Okay, but wait, go ahead. So I'm looking at you got like a beaker here, and you've got like some hot coffee.
Yeah.
And you just mix it all together. Is that?
Well, it's okay. It comes in two pieces. It's on this little board here, as you see.
Yeah.
It's a very trendy thing to do nowadays in coffee, is where it's more of a presentation
Oh.
of the coffee, where it's not just served in a standard cup. If you have gourmet coffee, you got to serve it in a gourmet way. So I guess they just take the beakers from your science lab from your high
that's
school,
what it
I
looks
guess,
like. Yeah.
in a small, tiny cup because it only comes in 12 ounces. So I think if they put it in a small cup, they think they make you feel like you get more coffee.
It's only like a small cup, 12-ounce cup, because basically it will kill you because there's just so much
Yeah,
coffee. You're gonna
yeah.
like explode, right? It's
I
so
guess,
strong
yeah.
and potent.
Well, it's 200 milliliters of coffee according to the beaker.
That's okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But it's trendy, so it looks great.
Okay.
It's great for Instagram.
That's right. That's right. And speaking of Instagram, a good segue, David.
Yeah, oh, thank you.
You are the man behind At Coffee Kansas City.
I am.
You are visiting coffee shops all over. You are trying to build a global brand of Kansas City coffee.
Global, yes.
A global Kansas City brand. Okay, let's talk about coffee. Let's take a step back.
Okay.
You love coffee.
I do.
All you do is like post pictures of coffee, and you basically visit coffee shops all the time. Is
That's
that right?
right, yes.
Okay. Where did your love of coffee come from?
It actually started pretty much almost 3 years ago.
Okay.
I know you said that you interview Kansas City natives.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not really a Kansas City native.
That's
so
all right. No
that's
one has
fine.
to know
well,
that.
Well, actually, shout out to Parisi Coffee down in Union Station.
Uh-huh.
I'm originally from out of state, and I was visiting.
Where?
And
Where are you
I'm originally from Iowa,
Oh, okay.
which
all
is
right.
the great state of Iowa.
I'm sorry.
Hey, I know, that's fine. It's much better here. Anyways, I'm originally come from Iowa, and I was
Okay.
visiting some family that lives here.
Yeah.
And I had a friend of mine tell me about this coffee shop that's in Union Station,
Yeah.
Parisi Coffee,
Yeah.
Parisi Cafe.
Okay.
And I'm like, all right, I like coffee. You know, I grew up drinking coffee. I think me and my dad had coffee since I was like 5 years old.
Yeah.
I've been drinking coffee for years. And I'm like, all right, I can get some coffee. And this buddy of mine who lives here in Kansas City before I moved here, he was like, "Hey, let me get you some coffee." He's like, "You like good coffee?" I'm like, "Yeah." I drink Starbucks. He's like, this isn't even close.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
he gets me a pour over. I didn't know what the heck that was. I was like, I'm an Iowa
what
boy.
What the hell's going on here right
now?
now?
I know. I'm used to Starbucks and your Folgers you make at home. So I get this coffee, and it was Parisi Cafe's whiskey barrel infused coffee.
Yeah.
Have you ever had it?
I have not. No.
Well, it's coffee they take the green coffee beans and they place it into drained out bourbon barrels.
Okay.
And then it soaks up the rest of that flavor, and that gets infused in the coffee beans, then they roast it. And the coffee tastes like bourbon.
Okay.
Which is great.
Oh, wow.
So I had this coffee, and it was like, oh my goodness.
Your brain exploded.
Brain exploded. I was like, what is this? Is this even coffee? Because it didn't taste like what I quote
Oh,
thought
it didn't
was
have like the coffee
Yeah.
taste. It tasted full on bourbon.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
it did, but I didn't. I was never used to a taste like that. I was used to tasting like black.
Yes. Yeah. No, I know exactly
black
that like
liquid that doesn't
Yeah,
have
yeah,
a good taste to
yes,
it, right?
yes, yes.
You
that,
drink
like
it for
that
the caffeine.
bite. It's got that
Yeah.
bite to it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I had some of that, and I was like, wow, this is great. But then I had to go home.
Okay.
So then I was like, all right, that's cool, whatever.
Yeah.
I actually thought it was insanely strong coffee. I was like, wow, that's really strong, but I guess it was kind of good, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I moved here.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, Kansas City must be like good in coffee, I guess, because
Right,
they had
right.
really good coffee. So I started visiting some coffee shops, and it was consistently like, wow, it seems like I've never had good coffee before.
Yeah.
And this was about 3 years ago, and I deeply fell in love with genuine coffee. Now,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, Starbucks, we have to give a little bit to Starbucks. They
Yeah.
did revolutionize the coffee industry.
Yes.
But a lot of my mindset was faced around coffee's dark and bitter, and it doesn't have flavor.
Yeah.
And I was experiencing coffee that was light,
Yeah.
full flavor body, and it tasted like I was drinking fruit. Really.
Oh wow.
And I was like, this is
So all these
insane.
tastes and flavors that you had never seen before or had before, so it was kind of just blowing your mind, basically.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It was just like, this is unreal. I've never had this before. And I just jumped right into the world of coffee here in Kansas City. And then I was like posting photos of coffee on my personal Instagram because I was looking on Instagram for coffee
Yeah.
and found out that people take photos of coffee. This was 3
Well,
years
that's
ago.
because people take pictures of like the cool little formations, and
Yeah,
stuff
the
like
latte
oh
art.
they make
Yeah.
yes the art of the latte yes.
The art of the latte.
I
Yes,
know
it's a
exactly.
science.
Yes, it is. This is a leaf. This is a swan.
Yes.
Okay. So
All
yes,
right.
you were taking pictures on your Instagram,
Yes.
and then what happened?
Well, I was just, this was January of last year, and I was thinking like, man, there isn't a place on Instagram. I guess I don't really know what's going through my head. I was
Yeah.
can't really find a single Instagram dedicated to the coffee industry or the coffee art, really, the art of coffee in Kansas City. I mean, it's beyond just making it in your house.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and it's actually, you go into a coffee shop and you really experience art of coffee. And so I was like, there's not really a central location on Instagram specifically
Yeah.
for Kansas City. There
Okay.
was like, I kind of found accounts from like New York City or Los Angeles. I'm like, wow, I feel like it's just missing here in Kansas City. So thus was born Coffee Kansas City.
Okay, and so now you're like growing in popularity, and I've
right.
had plenty of people on the show that are very good at Instagram. I am not very good at Instagram. You are
Yes.
good at Instagram because
okay, thank you.
post something and then it gets all these likes.
Yeah.
Me not so much. I'm lucky if I get like
Yeah.
5 or so, right? But then again, I'm not posting all the time, and I'm not the greatest photographer in the world, but. You like now, like you even give away coffee. I've seen you like do
Yes,
coffee giveaways.
I have done that once. Well, actually, I did 5 giveaways, but it was a one-time. I hit 5,000 followers, so I did a 5-day giveaway.
Okay.
So that was brand new for me. So yes, that's to the extent I've
and
been
then I
at
also
now.
saw you have like a listing of coffee that you can like click to. Like you have every shop like listed out.
Yes,
right?
I do.
And you
It's
even
continuously
have, You
growing.
even have some reviews on
I
there,
do,
or like
yes.
how many stars. So
Yes.
okay. Have you visited every coffee spot in the city for the most part? Like the ones
For the
that-
most part, yes.
Okay, all right.
To be honest, I have not visited every single location
Okay.
that I have on my list, which I honestly feel super bad about.
Yeah.
apologize to all those coffee shops I have not been to, but the list is somewhere in the 60s and continuously growing.
Okay.
There's a new one that just started in southern Kansas City in Kansas, just south of Olathe.
Okay.
That I haven't been to. It's the Bean Coffee Company.
Okay. Haven't
been there yet, but that's a new shop that's in the Kansas City Metro that's brand new.
Yeah.
Just opened. And these
And
coffee
these
shops
are-
keep opening.
And let's just make it clear. You're not, you said 60, but those aren't like, Starbucks isn't
No.
on your list. You're talking about like homegrown
Yes,
Kansas
like
City coffee
brick and
shops.
mortar. There's like one location. I mean, there's a couple with multiple, like the roastery's one of them that
Right.
has multiple locations.
Right.
But that was born in Kansas City, and that's wholly the people of Kansas City
Yeah.
own that. They love that.
So what's the craziest thing that you've learned about Kansas City coffee so far?
The craziest thing I've learned about first of all, Kansas City is people love Kansas City.
Yeah.
And the thing about Kansas City coffee,
I have a podcast about it.
Exactly. The thing about coffee in Kansas City is the people in Kansas City that love coffee,
Yeah.
they really love their Kansas City coffee. I'm like, it sounds like,
Well, no, so
Yeah.
what you're saying is yes, I totally know exactly what you're saying, because people, if they love something and it's Kansas City related and,
Oh, yes.
they're like, hey,
Absolutely.
local support Kansas City. So the craziness that you've seen is just from the support side of
Absolutely.
people love this
Yes.
stuff. Okay.
yeah, absolutely. That's completely blown me away. I mean, I have a little bit over 7,000 followers right now. I think 7.5 as of today.
Yeah.
But it's like I never thought that my marketing, or like, it's not really marketing, my influence of
Okay.
coffee
Yeah.
would reach that amount of people so quickly.
Yeah.
And so that really means that the people that are frequenting these coffee shops, the people that are there continuously at all these different locations that actually know about quote Kansas City coffee,
Right.
they're extremely active in
Yeah.
what they love.
Okay. So, all right, let me ask this question then, because this is something that, to me, I think of like coffee and I think of other like drinks and stuff. There's like a million different flavors of drinks, and there's there's a million different craft beers. I've never been like a huge coffee guy, right? Like my wife recently got me into tea.
Oh,
I'll drink tea
welcome.
every now and then. Yes, I'm enjoying the cinnamon tea. It's very nice. But I've always been kind of a live wire anyway. So when I go to like, when I've had coffee before, I'm just kind of like, I'm just
Right.
crazed, right? But my understanding is, and once again, this is from someone that's not a huge coffee guy, the world of coffee is like changing like crazy, because there's all these different things that people are doing now that no one's ever heard of before in
Absolutely,
the coffee
yeah.
world. Am I correct on
Yes,
that?
yes.
Okay, so how much of that is just kind of like the art related, and how much of that is a gimmick? Like, oh, guess what? Now we have coffee in barrels, or we have coffee that has a strawberry in it. Like
Yeah.
what's the love of coffee, or like the traditional type that's gonna stick around forever? You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
Like how's it changing? Is it all a gimmick?
I think
Like
it's
beer with fruit is a
Right.
gimmick. Okay.
okay.
All right. So is coffee like that?
I think that the evolution of where coffee's going right now,
Yeah.
I don't think it's fully a gimmick. I think some of it will pass away. I mean,
Right.
you can't. It's not sustainable of where it's at. I think.
Yeah.
And there's different sections of kind of how the process of coffee that in my opinion, that it's, oh, this is trendy, let's do this,
Yeah.
and then it's, okay, that's no longer trendy. So like, for example, pour overs and slow brew coffee methods. I think
Okay.
that's truly the method of making a pour over, or like cold brew. That's
yeah.
a slow brew method. It takes like 18 hours to make cold brew.
Yeah.
Or like toddies take that. It's the kind of same little thing as cold
Yeah.
brew.
Right.
Or such as like nitro coffee. That's a kind of a
Whoa,
one-
nitro
oh,
coffee.
You didn't know? Oh,
I've
okay.
never heard of nitro coffee.
Oh, okay, so here we are. So this is coffee with nitrogen.
Oh,
It's like they put it into
that sounds
one
like
of
a
those
gimmick.
containers.
That sounds like a gimmick.
I don't know, but like a beer keg, sort of.
Okay.
But one of those things that the like soda comes in.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah,
They put it in a canister and they put nitrogen in it, so it's like bubbly. It's like carbonated coffee.
Okay.
But it's nitrogen. Yeah.
Very interesting.
I'm just now trying to understand that
It sounds
in depth.
It sounds very in depth. what
it's
makes
very good, very good.
What makes a good coffee shop then? For you, in your
Oh,
mind,
absolutely.
when you're like, what's your criteria when you're stepping into a coffee shop?
Well, I don't have a lot of cafe experience. I
Okay.
do. When I say that, it's like I'm not a by trade. I'm not a barista.
Yeah.
I'm not in the coffee industry as working in the coffee industry. I'm changing that. I'm working with some coffee shops now. I'm not going to mention who they are currently
Okay.
because it's not finalized.
Yeah.
But working with coffee shops right now to actually get in behind the bar and really learn the process in depth.
Yeah.
And not be on the outside kind of looking in, but be on the inside evaluating the inside.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, I don't get me wrong, I have a great knowledge of coffee, but as far as cafe experience, that's where I'm kind of limited.
Yeah.
But for my criteria, I think that quality is one of the best things that makes a coffee shop. A coffee shop could be absolutely like the dimmest, darkest place. It could have like weird lighting.
Yeah.
It could be not very clean. Some of them are not like perfect.
Right.
But the coffee could be fantastic. And for example, here at Oddly Correct, props to Oddly Correct. Hashtag not a sponsorship. Oddly Correct is one of the probably the best coffee shops in the city because of the consistency of the quality, and that the quality of this location of Oddly Correct is so high up in their values that it's consistently the quality of coffee is just through the roof.
Really?
So consistency is a big deal when it comes to coffee shops.
Okay.
So the quality, the consistency of the quality is probably the number one thing that can either make or break a coffee shop.
Okay.
In the coffee Kansas City world of let's have gourmet coffee.
Right.
We're not talking about just traffic volume coffee shops just because it's coffee. We're talking about little tiny shops such as Oddly Correct where people come and they'll come buy a $4.50 coffee for 12 ounces where you could go to Quick Trip, hashtag not a sponsorship. Feel like I'm going to get you in trouble by
No, you're
naming
fine,
all
fine.
these names.
None of these people sponsor the show, and I don't know if they ever will, so it's okay.
So, I mean, you could go to Quick Trip and get like a 20-ounce coffee for $1, right? So it's that quality is very, very important when it comes to looking at the quality of a coffee shop. But it's not the only factor.
All right, what's the other factor?
Well, there's a lot of factors.
Okay.
It's
give me some more here. Okay, so the quality.
So just to
and
list
then,
them off: quality, customer service. I mean, we're in the 21st century. These kids with their smartphones, with Instagram, it has to be inviting.
Oh, okay. So you're
for
saying
real,
that like
it's gotta
a coffee shop has to go out of their way to make sure their stuff looks good, so it's
absolutely.
grabbable.
I mean, it's not all about the looks. It's very much on the quality, on the looks. It's more on the whole entire cafe experience, but quality, the customer experience, like it has to be top notch in really caring about the product.
Okay.
You can really tell if you walk in a coffee shop. A lot of my coffee shop buddies, they can walk in a coffee shop. I can walk in a coffee shop and I can look at the barista or the person making the coffee or the owner and say, oh, this person really enjoys what they do.
Yeah.
And you can see that enjoyment and that passion in the cup of coffee that they're making for you. It's a simple cup of coffee, but they're putting so much effort, so much passion of the product into the process of making it.
Gotcha. Okay, so is that all the criteria when you're doing your reviews and when you're reviewing stuff? Do you think about that stuff too?
So right now, I'm not huge into reviewing coffee shops as far as like posting them on Instagram.
Okay.
Oh, this is the review of this coffee shop. So I'm wanting to get there. I'm actually building a website to feature that.
Yeah.
Promo to my website. This is the first time anybody's heard that, by the way.
Oh, okay.
It's a work in progress.
All right.
So reviewing coffee shops is fairly new to me as far as actually listing out a criterion to meet and to look for certain aspects. Does that make sense?
No, that makes total sense.
Great.
Yeah, so I mean, so right now, it seems like you're at this place where like you've got this following. You love coffee, so you get to go around and visit all these coffee shops. You've done a giveaway. You're growing, right?
Yes.
But I mean, what is the what's the end game? What's the goal here? Like, do you want to be like the go-to guy for coffee, or do you want to be like, I know we talked a little bit here at the beginning, and you were like, hey, I want to ruin that Starbucks mentality or whatever with coffee,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So like, give me like, what do you see happening for you doing this? Like, what do you want to happen?
Absolutely. So for the ones listening today, I mean, there's probably 30 coffee shops that if you're a coffee lover that you actually probably don't know about.
Okay.
So that's one thing that I'm trying to change.
So exposure.
Yeah, exposure. And then that's through just word of mouth, posting it on Instagram. I'm a huge lover of local business. I mean, I'm a huge lover of the money that I put into a coffee shop. It's going to go to the people that are working in that coffee shop that live in South KC, Overland Park, that sort of stuff. Where it's my money, I know where my money is going. That's another thing. That's why I kind of started this, was local businesses are awesome. I love them. Plus, local is what keeps local here. So I am a huge pusher of let's visit these local coffee shops and hire local people and see great product be made locally. So that's kind of like where I'm wanting this to go is to be like a trumpet blower for some of these coffee shops that really don't have the media following.
Yeah.
I was out just at Revo Cup today in South Overland Park on 135th in Quivira. That's a little shout out to them.
Not a sponsorship.
Yep, not a sponsorship.
All right.
So to them, they only have like 300 followers on their Instagram.
Yeah.
Where they're like, how do we reach these people to know that we are somebody different in Kansas City that roasts coffee? Because everybody knows that the big names, especially like the roastery.
Yeah.
But everybody doesn't know about these smaller coffee shops that roast great quality coffee in the city. So they're like, man, how do we get the word out that we have coffee, that we're somebody different, but maybe not better, but we're just somebody different in the game, So that's what I want to do, is be able to say, hey, guys, everybody go to this coffee shop, 135th in Quivira, and visit them.
Yeah.
There's newer coffee shop, only been around for 2 years, but go check them out. There's somebody different. It's a new experience. And so what I'm kind of end game is trying to build a brand to be actually hopefully nationwide known that coffee in Kansas City is fantastic.
Yeah.
And coffee in Kansas City is different than the coffee in New York City or in Los Angeles or in Arkansas or wherever. So that is kind of where I'm wanting this to go, as far as let's all join together as a coffee community in Kansas City. Let's destroy the mentality that Starbucks sets the trend for coffee. That Starbucks is, I mean, I love Starbucks. They put coffee on a pedestal in the nation, and I don't think we would be here today talking about coffee if Starbucks really didn't come out and say, hey, let's revolutionize the coffee industry.
Right.
So I have to give Starbucks a big shout out to that for actually making coffee a household thing.
Right.
So short story is I want coffee in Kansas City to be known as something dramatically different, and as I don't know.
All right. No.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a valid pursuit. It is also something that it's exciting because, I think you've kind of tapped into something that, there's all these little niches, right? Everybody's got a little niche, and you've kind of found one that maybe wasn't as thought of as before. You know what I mean? Like, oh, people know about coffee shops, but like you're basically saying, whoa, come check this place out, out. And you're getting a chance to go around and try all these different coffees anyway. And you being a coffee lover, I'm sure that's like the best part of the deal,
absolutely.
Right? Because you're getting to try all these different things.
It's like the foodie Instagrams. I'm like,
Exactly.
oh my God, I would love to do that.
Yeah, like send me to a restaurant and feed me food. Sure,
I'm not brave enough for that.
we would all need gym memberships, right? It reminds me of my interview with Qasim Hardaway, who was on the show.
Good guy.
And, he's like same as you. He started taking photos of things, and he's basically getting to go to restaurants.
Absolutely.
And try food. And I was sitting there, and I'm not even joking. My wife was listening to that episode, and she goes, oh my God, I want this job.
Yes.
Because
absolutely.
she's a foodie. She's a
Same.
foodie. It's
Yeah.
just like, I want to try this. So like for you being a coffee lover and getting around to go and try these coffees, I mean, come on. You're like living it up, man.
It's pretty nice. But it's very expensive though.
Oh, it's very
yes.
Okay, so that you haven't reached the apex where they're like, dude, come on out here. You got to try this. Are you getting there?
I'm getting there. A lot of it's kind of on the DL.
Right.
A lot of coffee shops don't know who I am.
Okay.
There's a face behind.
So this is like it's almost like I'm unmasking Batman. Right
yeah,
now,
sort of, kind of.
Like who is this guy? All we know is hashtag Coffee Kansas City or whatever.
There's a lot of people that follow me that actually have no idea who I am. A lot of coffee shops that I actually frequent quite often actually don't know who I am. So I mean, it's one of those things where it's like on the DL.
Who's
just
that
because
guy? Who's that guy?
Yeah. So. And the reason for that was originally I was like, I'm going to start a coffee review page.
Yeah.
But I was like, is it going to be fake if I go in there? Or are they going to have the best person making it?
Yeah.
I mean, is it going to be true? Is it going to be like any other person? Like, I want to be treated like everybody else.
Yeah. You want to be neutral.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't want to be I mean, with kind of like food critics or whatever, they obviously have the best person make the food, right?
They give them the best server.
Right, absolutely. Well, I like that. I like being, I want the best coffee. And I have a lot of friends. Shout out to Messenger. Love those people down there. Great people. Like they always, they see me walk in the door. Oh man, let's make him a great cup of coffee.
Right.
So, I mean, Messenger's fabulous at that. I'm talking about the Messenger Cafe, 1624 Grand Street. Go visit them.
Hashtag not a sponsorship.
Yes, hashtag not a sponsorship. Anyways,
not yet.
Not yet. Messenger, if you're listening to this, you know how to reach me.
Yes, Kansas City Podcast. Take a look.
I mean, for real, it's like where I wanted to, really deep down, I wanted it to be true and authentic.
Okay.
So now that I've kind of reached a following, that's going to slightly be changing.
Yeah.
I'm going to be reaching out to a lot of coffee shops to actually
because you can say, hey, look, if I've got this connected audience
absolutely
in Kansas City that loves coffee. I mean, it's for someone that's looking for more exposure, that's another way to get their message out.
Yeah.
I mean, you're doing it all the right ways, right?
Yeah.
So, all right, here's my question for you. Do you have a long time ago, there was a guy on the show, we were talking about barbecue. His name's Ben Wint, and he had like a Mount Rushmore of barbecue, of Kansas City barbecue. He called it Mount Smokemore. Do you have like your Mount Coffee More, like your top 4 or 5 that you're like, oh, I got to go to this place? Or like, can you give some recommendations to me that are like, okay, if you wanted to see what it's all about, what do you got? All right, let's go for it. I want to hear it.
Now, there's again, like I mentioned, there's a lot of factors that kind of go into reviewing a coffee shop. That's completely different when you're talking about best places.
Right. Maybe I worded it wrong.
Yeah.
Best places, sure, but what's the thing that you got to try or you can't miss? You know what I mean? Like in your mind, like what's up there is like, wow, this is a place you've got to see, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, got to see. All right.
Yeah.
So
got to see, got to try.
Got to see, got to try. So, probably number one thing that comes to mind right now is aesthetics. People love, wow, this place looks amazing. So up there in the tops of those, kind of like, man, you got to see these places. Messenger Cafe, brand new cafe downtown. It opened last fall. Phenomenal. They took a really old building, renovated it, kept that old historic look, and made a cafe out of it. They also roast coffee on the second floor. They also have a balcony. It's fantastic. You got to visit it. It just looks incredible.
Okay.
The coffee also is phenomenal. So got to see there. Got to check out the old like floor they have. They also have a bakery in there.
Okay.
And they also have shout out to Ibis Bakery. Not a sponsorship. This is a trendy thing that we're doing now.
Yes.
They have a flour mill in the building. To fresh mill flour. Phenomenal. And the only one in the Midwest, actually.
That's incredible.
It's crazy. Messenger is put so much effort into this cafe, you definitely got to go see it. The coffee there is also fantastic. Next on the list has to be Monarch Coffee. Everybody go visit them. They're just fantastic. Tyler, he's been in coffee for about 15 years. Absolutely fantastic. They've got some of the most ridiculous sounding drinks, and they look just absolutely funky. But you're like, what is that? I have to try that. You can come out with this like yellowish color drink. Doesn't even look like coffee, but you're like, oh my goodness.
Wait, hold on. A yellow color drink?
Yeah, it's like it's like they put fruit in the okay. So it's like it's like a mixed drink, right? So it's like they take their espresso, then they put like rosemary in it, and then they'll put some citrus fruit in it, or
Yeah.
a whole bunch. I don't even know how what the ingredients are, but they make some of the weirdest things that you'd be like, that doesn't even sound like it would be good together. But then you go try it, and it's like, oh my goodness, these people are like artists.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the space is just fantastic.
All right. I like it.
All right, next.
What's next?
I think, man, next after that would have to be Thou Mayest.
Yep.
Have you ever heard of Thou Mayest?
I've been to Thou Mayest.
Yeah.
I did an interview at Thou Mayest.
Oh, wow.
Once with somebody on the
Wonderful.
deck up there. It was nice.
Yes. Yeah, there's a deck.
Yep.
It's great. Thou Mayest is a coffee bar. So
Yeah.
coffee during the day, bar at night. It's a great place to be. They serve wonderful coffee. They roast their own. It's a great space. It's got a bar. It's got a patio out back. It's just wonderful. A patio upstairs. Great place to go hang out. I mean, it's just truly unique. And Thou Mayest, it's based off of John Steinbeck. So it's a great place for those people that love like reading books. It's real chill upstairs, kind of lively downstairs.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
yeah.
got kind of this morning vibe that you go in, grab a cup of coffee, but also return late at night, and it's got that completely different vibe that shifts upside down to where it's a coffee shop in the morning as the sun comes up, and it's a bar at night when the sun goes down.
Yeah.
So great place. Got to go visit that place.
Very nice. All right, you got one more? You Mount Rushmore. There's what?
Yeah,
four
four,
people on
man.
Mount Rushmore. Wait, what do you got?
That's a hard one. I mean,
You can tie. You could do a tie. I mean,
yeah. I mean, the most aesthetic places have to definitely be like Monarch and
Yeah.
Messenger, just for like this is just blowing it out of the water, sort of like thing. So, but next, you're sitting in it. It has
in
to be
it?
oddly correct. I
Yeah.
mean, oddly correct. They've got an octopus on the wall in a coffee cup. Like, I mean, it's crazy. And
it's a hip place.
Yeah, it's got brick. I mean, it just looks incredible. They got LaCroix up in the wall. It's a weird place, but it's definitely a great place to go check out. They have some of the best coffee in the city. It's nationwide known. I mean,
Yeah.
this place, it makes it from New York to Los Angeles. Not even joking. I mean, the people here at Oddly Correct, they really take it seriously, and they're known for it. So if you're listening, you got to go come here and check it out.
Hashtag not a sponsorship.
No.
All right. I got a couple more questions for you here.
All right.
What's your go-to coffee? Like, if you, any coffee shop you go to, like, is there a drink that you say, oh, if they can pull this off well, then this is a good spot? Or do you just like pick through the menu and like just pick something that, oh, they say, oh, this is our specialty? Or like, is there like, everybody knows, you go to a restaurant and you can pick their specialty, but if they do a really good this,
yes.
then it's probably like the spot, what do you think? Is that the same in coffee? I'm asking all these because I don't know the answer to these.
Yeah.
I'm asking you. David, you have to help me understand
yeah.
this.
That's tough. Again,
you're the first person that has ever said I've had a tough question.
Yeah, it's coffee. Coffee is an art, really. I mean, there's so much. There's so many different varieties of different coffee you can have.
Well, it's like growing to a brewery now. Like that's what
Absolutely,
I equate it
yes.
to almost, because you
I
see all these
think-
microbrews and
Yeah,
all these like breweries that have
absolutely.
all this different special stuff. But if you do a good IPA, or you
Absolutely,
do
yeah.
a good wheat, or
Yep.
something like that. Like I love wheat beer, so if they can do
absolutely.
a good wheat, I'm like really happy,
Yeah.
right? So if they could do a good beaker-filled, like a good science beaker hot coffee, is that
yes.
like what puts them above the rest?
Yeah. So, kind of what in my judge of coffee shops. Again, I don't like to judge coffee shops just based on one visit.
Right,
I like to give them the benefit of the doubt. Oh man, that was a terrible cup of coffee, but I'm gonna go again and again and again and tell them
Right.
like this place really needs some help, or maybe they could do something better. And I like to give feedback privately. I don't post publicly a lot about coffee shops that I have a bad time at. I don't like doing that.
Yeah.
That kind of goes against what I'm pushing. Is actually
Right.
just unification. But I think that if they have a great drip coffee, honestly,
Yeah.
just standard, you go in and like, I just need a cup of coffee. And that's the standard. It's made in bulk. It's the big canister of coffee.
Yeah.
If they pull that off well, that means most everything else should be pretty in line. Because that's the cheapest option, and it's the easiest, and it's one of the number one sellers, honestly. I don't know. I can't say that specifically. Each shop is different. They could sell 100 million lattes in one cup of regular cup of Joe, right? But so if I go into a coffee shop I haven't been in a while, all right, give me your old standard cup of coffee.
Right.
If I can really enjoy that cup of coffee and it doesn't taste like 3 hours old and it doesn't taste nasty and it's easy to swallow and it's got good flavor, then I'm like, oh, all right, they're putting some good effort into the bare minimum of coffee.
Very nice. Okay, I understand exactly what you're saying then. Yes.
From a step up from there is the pour over.
Yes.
That is exactly the same thing, honestly. It's exactly the same thing. It's just regular coffee, just technically poured over. It's or a slow bar, as people call it, because it's a slow brew method. All that does is it extracts. Now, the coffee bean contains the caffeine and the flavor and the different aspects of the coffee. So as you brew it, it extracts those flavors, right?
Yeah.
So with a manual brew method, you can control all of that. You can control how much water touches the grounds, how much water is being poured. I mean, it's very specific.
I just got a really silly image because we're sitting here and you're telling me all this, and then I'm looking at this beaker filled of coffee, right? and then I'm thinking about the pouring over the stuff, and I immediately was like, oh my God. It's Breaking Bad. It's chemistry.
Chemistry.
It's chemistry.
Is, really.
And I've never thought of it that way before until you just said that now. Because I'm like, you know what? That makes all the sense. You got to add the ingredients together and you got to make it well. But, you have all the special ways to, make it change the colors.
It really is a science.
It's kind of blowing my mind a little bit because, when I've seen coffee shops, I've gone to coffee shops, there is stuff on the wall or stuff on the menu that I don't even understand. I I'm like, I have no idea what the hell that means.
Yes.
And so now I'm just imagining some guy in the back room back there you're not going to believe what we're doing now. And he's sitting over a vat with some beakers.
That's Monarch for you.
That's Monarch?
Yes.
Very nice.
Yeah. Nothing against Monarch. That's actually a prop to them. They come up with the wildest things. It's great.
So they got a guy in the back, in the science lab, just going to town.
Yeah.
Very nice. All right. Well, David, when's the last time you didn't have coffee?
Man, when I go out of town, when I go actually back to my hometown, it's like I go through
Do you have
withdrawal.
Do you have a withdrawal?
Withdrawal.
How many cups of coffee do you drink a day?
Oh, well,
on average?
On average, I have at least one or two. Statistically, I have about two.
Okay.
2 a day. And I do have a full-time job. Unfortunately, coffee is not strong enough to pay my bills, unfortunately.
Not yet.
Not yet. I do have a full-time job, so I do wake up quite early in the morning to go to my said job.
Yes.
And I do make coffee in the morning.
Okay.
Specifically Kansas City coffee.
Yes.
What do you know?
Yeah.
My cabinet has about probably 10 different coffee shops worth of coffee shop. Wow.
Yeah.
My cabinet has about 10 different
You've had
types
too
of
much
coffee.
You're tripping over your words.
From coffee shops. So I have at least one a day, and then usually I have to frequent a coffee shop in the afternoon hours to have an afternoon pick-me-up.
Very nice.
So if I go more than a couple days without coffee, either I'm broke or I'm sick. So
well, we don't want that.
Yeah.
That's not good. All right. We're nearing the end of our time today.
Yes. Well, that's unfortunate.
I've learned a lot about coffee. I've learned about you. I would tell everyone to go check out your Instagram, but I'm going to give you the floor now. This is your time to shine. This is your time to plug. This is your time to tell people where to find you. Your time to shine. So the floor is yours, sir. Where can people find you and go for it? What do you got?
Okay, well, you can find me at Coffee Kansas City on Instagram. I do also have a Facebook page, but I that's just my Instagram page. Just posted to Facebook. It's an automatic thing, so I don't really use it that often, but I do have a Facebook page at Coffee Kansas City on both. I am coming out with a website. It will be the hub for everything coffee in Kansas City. So there's not really a page right now on the web, or really there was an Instagram, all dedicated to Kansas City coffee. So shout out to my future website. It's still in development, and it's not public yet.
When it goes public,
we
will post it.
Wonderful.
And, so you let me know, and I will make sure to post it on our pages and stuff so people see the new Coffee Kansas City website.
Yeah, so my website's going to be a one-stop shop for everything coffee in Kansas City. I'm going to have a page for every single coffee shop in the city.
Whoa.
Not just oh, this is the location and the hours. I'm talking about a page, a full entire website. Like, it's not just like a shared page. This is going to be a page with photos, with hopefully a menu, with a description, a little bit about the coffee shop. Hopefully going to have some reviews, maybe some comments for people so they can be like, oh my God, I love this coffee shop.
It's a one-stop shop.
One-stop shop. Well, one-stop coffee shop.
there you go.
So it's going to be hopefully coming out soon. Hopefully going to have a shop page on there you would be able to have access to buy every coffee in the city. And anybody that's local that roasts coffee, you should be able to buy their coffee from there. Buy apparel. I know coffee shops have coffee shop shirts. I'm wearing one right now from Black Dog. I'm going to have that on my website so you can go and you can maybe you visited a coffee shop and you're like, oh, I saw they had T-shirts, but that's like 45 minutes away from your house. Or you were visiting in Kansas City and you wanted to go get one of those T-shirts or whatever. That's going to be on there as well. And all of this will go back to the coffee shop, obviously, because I got to get it from them. They provide it, and then it's going to go to you.
So now that you've unveiled this, you have to do it now, right? Like you've got to, you have to really buckle down and finish it now.
I feel like it needs to be done by like next week.
Yeah,
or something.
Yeah. You need to get it done soon now because
it's gone public.
You're like right on the ledge of like, oh no.
Yes.
Now I'm holding myself to this. I've announced it to the world. All right. Yeah. When you do launch the website, like I said, we will post it. We are going to post everything to your Instagram as well, from our Instagram and Facebook page and all that type of stuff.
Thank you.
So you can always find more information about Coffee Kansas City on our website, thekansascitypodcast.com. You can follow me, Cole, on Twitter at Cole Lindberg, and then Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Kansas City Pod. This has been very exciting.
No podcast, just pod?
Kansas City Pod. Yeah, I mean, it's the short.
I see.
It's.
I should change my my Instagram to just Coffee KC then, right?
You could.
I think that's probably taken.
It could be taken. It might be taken. You got any final thoughts? Anything else you want to share with the world?
Cole, thanks for having me.
No, David,
if you ever need to get some coffee experience, let me know. I'll take you around.
I will absolutely let you know. That's what you got to start doing now. You got to start doing coffee tours.
That's in the works. I have a lot of ideas, a lot of things in the.
You could do it.
I've got a lot of things going on.
Definitely go some coffee
tours, coffee tastings, coffee training.
Yeah,
a little bit of, maybe you don't know how to home brew. You know, maybe you're fed up with. I mean, do you? You don't really drink coffee, but
I do.
At home, you drink coffee.
My wife is a crazy coffee person. She loves coffee.
Oh, okay, so I can help your wife out.
Okay,
maybe she's fed up with that Folgers and she wants to get some good coffee. Well, I would be able to train her in the near future.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong, in the future.
Yes.
On how to brew great coffee at home.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very exciting. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm excited to see where this goes for you. I think
you.
it's very cool. And you can enjoy the rest of your coffee and enjoy the 100-degree weather that we're having today. You're drinking the hot coffee in the hot weather. You're letting it cool for a bit. You let it cool.
It changes flavors when it cools.
We're not sweating anymore.
I think you are.
I'm still sweating a
little
bit.
I'm sweating. You just can't tell.
Yeah. David, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much, Cole.
We will see everybody next time here on the Kansas City Podcast.